This session will deal with the SQL insert into statement. So the SQL insert into statement is used to insert new records into a table. The syntax would be as follows. Insert into table syntax generally follows two types. Firstly, the specific column names that is to be entered. So in that case, we have to specifically give the column field names, that is insert into table name, then followed by column field names. So here column 1, column 2 and column 3. So let it be name, age and address. So there would be much more column fields, but specifically we are calling only 3 of them. So in that case, the values also should be specifically being given, that is Ramesh, address and the age. So this is a specific call for the column fields where we can limit the number of columns that is to be updated means with help of an insert into table. Now there can be another type of insert into table. So for the specific case, we can give an example, that is customer name, product name, address, city, postal code and country. So these specific names have been called. So that is why the values part should also specifically have its corresponding matched pair. That is first name is actually here the cardinal, contact name is the Tom M, address is Erickson, address is goes on like that one after the other. So we have to make the count that it should have exactly the same number of arguments with respect to the same number of counts. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fields with exact match of the fields. So that we have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And there should be no argument mismatch. It should be exactly be given in the right order of the argument with respect to each of the fields. Now we can take the second type of insertion query where we are not bothering about the fields that is to be inserted. We are specifically inserting with respect to all the fields in the table. So it's insert into table name, then followed by the values. So in this case, one of the examples would be insert into customer name, in customer table, first name, city and country. That is insert into customers, first name, city, country, values, Cardial, Stavanger, Norway. So when we compare the same with the previous one, we can see we have avoided certain terms. So we have made a here we made a selective choice of the fields with respect to which we could enter the second case. So this is how insert into all the fields and insert into a specific number of fields with respect to table can be done. Now we can do the same thing with the help of we can just copy and paste this and go into the query designer window, and we'll try to debug and try to understand how exactly this makes up the difference. So catalog is this person is a field here, table name. So here now we can see it's exactly having one field. Now we will create some more fields by just typing up this queries syntaxes. So use catalog because we are interested to insert it into the catalog field in database. Then insert into customers. So here it's not customers, it's persons. And here's you're interested to put it in the persons table. So here persons table is exactly having person ID, last name, first name, age, salary. So it is person ID is auto increment, so we not to bother about the last name, first name, age and salary only we have to put. So the last name, first name, and let us put only the salary part. So this would be the specific fields that we are entering. So we know that we have some more fields, but we are entering only last name, first name and salary. Age we are discarding. So accordingly we have to put the exact match of the words. So fields. So last name can be given as James. First name we can give it as the same thing, Tom Erickson. Then the salary we can is an int quantity, so it should not have any single quotes. It's only for string characters we use a single quotes, open and close, with respect to each of the fields. So salary may be 56,000. So we have first we can have a check. Last name is this James, first name is this Tom B. Erickson, and salary is 56,000. So we give an execution. So we can see that one row has got affected. So we can just come back to this table and give a debug and see exactly James, exactly what we feel we're interested has happened. It has just skipped off the age field over here, age section over here. Now the same thing could be here, where we are trying to enter with all the fields. Now, specifically when we are interested to enter with respect to all the fields, there is no need to give a selective choice of the fields with respect to the field declarations. So we can give the third field was the age. So age we can give it as 23. Yes. And we can give it debug. So we can see here the one more row, the row has got affected. So we'll go to the person's table and give an execution and see third has taken the field with respect to the 23. So this is how both the way of how to execute an insertion into table we have done. We'll try doing with some more fields. We can just go and copy and paste with respect to different fields. You can name it as James Allen 23. You can name it as 43. Second name we can give it as Jack. This is first name we give it as Potter. And the age we can give it as 56, and salary we can give it as 36. So the last one we can give it as, so the first half of the name we can give it as Bond. The first second we can give it as Johan. And the age we can give it as 75, and salary we can give it as 88,66000. We give an execution, so we can see each row has got affected. That means 3 rows has got affected consecutively. So we go to the person's table and give an execution, and accordingly we can see all the fields are getting populated. So this is how a simple insert into table with respect to specific fields and also with respect to all the fields have been done. So this is how a simple insertion query works.